you stayed with some bape. I'll tell you that. You were the first person ever in my life that I saw with Billionaire Boys Club on. You taught us the game.
What
you
bape was.
Bape, Billionaire Boys
and
Club.
Famous Stars and Straps.
Famous. I got Famous Stars and Straps tattooed on me.
Word?
Still to this day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You put me on to all of that. That's a fact.
Ice cream.
All of it.
Diesel.
Oh,
yeah.
He was like, oh yeah. He was like, oh yeah, these are Janet Jackson's jeans. I
was like, they were. It's crazy because like, oh man, the weed. That was good weed. I just drew a fucking complete blank.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? We're talking about having some. Oh yeah, no, we weren't. No,
living with Janet Jackson. Go.
It was cool. I was gonna say it's crazy how we could make God damn it! You keep throwing me off.
Living with Janet Jackson. Go.
It was man.
He said yo. So whatever the yo is.
Yeah, go. Tell us.
It's crazy
the details. What was that like? Living with Janet.
No,
Jackson?
it was man. That was cool. It was because I was living with Jermaine. She was just in the But it was interesting. I always say it showed me what life can be. Like it showed me like, oh, okay, there's people renting out or who have huge jets to just go where they want to go and do blah blah blah. So like you can, but she also was really nice, really humble. Like she never really, you realized by the things you were doing who you were with, but like it never felt weird. You know what I mean? Which is one of the coolest things because there's people who you already know, like who ain't even all that.
Who ain't even Janet Jackson. They act like that.
And they act funny, but
that's crazy.
But she was always really. But I think it's also the thing seeing a kid, knowing what that kid is either about to go through or has gone through, and she went through that, and she saw all her brothers go through that. So it's a different understanding and I don't want you to feel like you're being tested right now because everything else is a test.
Yeah.
Like a real safe space for a child in a really weird circumstance.
Exactly. Yeah.
If anybody knows how to create that space, I'm sure it would be her.
100%.
For sure.
That's fine.
That was cool.
That's fine.
That's what I was going to say. See, maybe I had to just go through that to get this.
I needed my story first.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times people now, they're like, man, like niggas be like, why don't you buy this? Why don't you buy that? Why don't you? And it's like, bro, like, what y'all are saying, like, I bought all that shit so early. I did all that. Like, I wasted a lot of money on clothes back in the day. And now I'm like, okay, I get it. That wasn't, like, I could go right now if I had to do something and buy a brand's shirt or whatever if they had sent me a box, like Billionaire Boys Club at that time had probably done or about. Yeah, like, if you're not sending me shit, like, I got to support either people I know or my own shit. Because I don't think the owner of Nike's out here wearing fucking BBC. Like, no, why would I do that? I don't own that.
But you was ahead of all of that shit. I remember that. I'll never forget it.
It was at an era when like it was it was like a purist era.
Yeah.
Like you had the Kanye's that was interning at Louis Vuitton. Like this is when certain black men were really just kind of getting into fashion, and I was on my own kind of kooky little Andre 3000 wave. You knew them. You knew them brands.
I was trying.
You knew them brands.
You knew it. Because I was confused. I was like, what
this is Louis Vuitton. This is Louis Vuitton.
But it's amazing how now it's like my brain has switched so much because now I'm just like
whatever.
You're also over 30 now.
Yeah.
You're not a kid and you're not fucking.
Well, I don't know if that even matters.
That's what I'm saying because so many people
for
are still
the average over 30 person.
Yeah.
Like this is what you should be doing. Now you're thinking about it. Oh, what you spent on this production is 20 gallery department shirts and 80.
And that's what I always try to tell. Thank you for saying that because that's what I always try to tell people. I'm like, look, money's always fucking bleeding out of me. But it's always to start a project, to get something off the ground, to try to position something. Like
investing in yourself.
Investing in myself. Like it's never, I've spent more money this year on making merch than I've spent on buying clothes for me.
Exactly.
Because I just and I'm
the investment.
And it's like, thank you for seeing that, because it's like, man, like, nigga, lights.
Yeah,
like,
lights ain't cheap. Cameras ain't cheap.
Man, listen.
The equipment and software to edit it ain't cheap.
Got it. I always Premiere always gonna hit me every week.
Live stream running and recording and playing. That's some chords.
He's on some.
There's some chords here.
He's next level.
There's some chords.
Always been though. So I've not been surprised with you since I met you, because you've been the same since I've met you.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And with Maine, like, I haven't been surprised to where you are and what's about to come for you, because you've always had humility.
Thank you.
And humility is, you know what I'm saying? Like, Maine was like the calmness of us four.
Facts. Yeah.
If you think about that, he's like the calm that was necessary.
Even think of what he just said. He was like, "Yeah, y'all three niggas are over here competing. I was just happy to be there."
And we needed that.
Facts.
You couldn't have four nigga. A fourth nigga competing would have been too much. But we weren't competing.
Nah.
Our parents was telling us to compete. There's a distinction there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I hated it. I was like, I don't give a fuck where I sit. I just want to.
You know what I think it is, though, for them, from the outside looking in? We know who we are, so we are surprisingly more confident in ourselves already. It's like, yeah, I don't need to overtalk this man, because if I got something good to say, it's going to be in time.
We did the work.
Right.
We did the work. We know what we did. We did the episodes. Yeah. We know it's going to go. Like, at this point, it's no fight for anything. It's already done.
But if you're not doing the work, and nothing against our parents, but if you're not physically doing the work, it's a lack. It's a fear.
Yeah.
That's present.
Yeah, it's all well intended.
Oh, of course.
It's all well intended.
Of course.
I mean, we talk about.
Oh, watch your jacket. It's
okay. Got it. We talk about Jacksons, and you know what I mean. The era of African Americans with children in the industry, children in sports. You know what I mean. Michael Jordan's mom. You know, just these parents that have these one of a kind children, and you do your best to kind of just prepare them for what they stepping into. You know what I mean. They did their best.
They did their best.
Oh no, for sure.
What the tools they had.
I'm gonna give you the real. My mom had a crazy life, bro. My mother had one of them lives that, like, if she decided to, like, quit, you'd be like, I get it. She okay.
Right.
So the fact that she brought her life into the industry, and that's how she kind of ran it. So her life has always been a fight. Mm-hmm. It's always been trauma. Mm-hmm. It's always been losing or not having. So when she, with me, was teaching, she was teaching from a desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And for me as an artist, I was just like, I guess I'm good, so I don't need to worry about anything. Mm-hmm. That's why she's like, go talk to this person. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, no. She'd be like, you got to understand, we got a network. Mm-hmm. And, oh, you got to be better than. She never really said you got to be better than. She just always saw the worst in people. And you know, it was never like, you got to be better. You got to talk first. You got to. Only time it was that one time she was like, you got to sit next to Roxy. But she was like, but it was like, it was from a place of desperation, from a place of like, you can't let them take your spot, or not even your spot, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that. And me, I was always just like, I don't want to do that.
When you're a person who feels like there's never been a spot for you, that is how you. No, and the same thing. My parents grew up in the projects. It's like there's certain things you see, like my parents will buy a whole bunch of stuff like waters and blah, and just hoard shit. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, you gotta clean out this, like you gotta, but it's also the thought of like, yeah, but they remember when there wasn't food around. Exactly. So like, I will never be without food. I get it.
It's just the, I hate to be so deep about it, but I think it's just the necessary storytelling for generations. You know what I mean? Yeah. It takes people to go through that to raise children like us who've experienced a little bit of it, just enough of it, so that we can pour into our children so they won't really have to ever see it. Yeah. And it's like, it just, because I'm sure their parents had more desperation and you gotta.
My mother lost her parents, both of them, by the time she was 16.
Wow.
My mother was on the streets by herself. You know what I'm saying? So
survival.
Yeah.
She used every strategy of survival she had. We brought that into the industry, and it worked for a lot of reasons. And then it didn't work for a lot more, right? Like it worked when it needed to work. Like the fact that I used to stay. I don't know. I used to be up until like 5 a.m. going over my lines for the next day, not getting no sleep, bro.
And it was just because she wanted you to?
Yeah. Not me. Nigga, I don't care. I go to sleep. I used to be up till 5 a.m, bro. Like 4 or 5 a.m. Like you gotta just see them all. It had to be perfect to her.
I feel you.
And if it wasn't perfect to her, then
it wasn't right.
It wasn't right. So bro.
I mean, I do think that is extensive, but you were great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's extensive.
It did pay off, but it was a lot.
This was very extensive, but you were great. You were a lot.
How did she take the fact, like, when you and Mike, like, when they show that you're, like, the softer character, a little bit softer character?
When he hit me?
Yeah. How did
I'm sure she didn't. I can't remember. I'm not going to just make some shit up. I can't remember something vividly that was said, but she didn't like it. Yeah. I don't think she liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think she.
Because when did that switch happen? Around like episode 6?
Yeah.
When it was like, because it started, and it's like, that good ass storytelling.
No facts, because I remember, bro. I remember I was like, I wanted, bro. I started seeing these lines. I'm seeing the scene. He goes in the house. He got the jerseys. He got the this. He got the. I was like, I want to be that guy. That's the cool. That's the cool.
I want the fucking jersey.
Yo, it's so funny the like minuscule shit we like. You know, I remember that though. I remember feeling like
playing video. He's got a scene playing a video
Xbox
game
in The Wire.
Yeah, I remember that. But then eventually, we all wanted Michael's character.
Yeah, for sure.
We all would, but it's the little minuscule, immature. Right. People don't realize that we did not look at this on some storytelling. This is great. We dived deep, but it wasn't like
not like that.
We almost came at it like it were real life. Like it was very real. For us, we knew that it was an element of play and pretend. Yeah, but it was very real. Yes, for us, we really took these.
We took it day to day.
On, we took these characters on.
But you have it But see, you have it. You have that the most because you. Yeah. I can't even say like as much as I like want to pat my own stuff on the back, but like like I didn't have to. My braids got redone. You know what I mean? But once I was done, that was cool. I was living in Fells Point. It was, but like the fact that you had to take your whole aesthetic constantly with you.
Yeah, I had to take Dookie home.
Yeah, there you go.
For months.
And that's what I mean when you like even when you said we lived there, it's like you had that in a different capacity.
For sure. It was very heavy. There were some great times. Like I said, it was very extensive. Yeah. But and I don't want to justify it, but like I think we as actors did genius storytelling. Yeah. And I think just circumstances that are completely irregular and won't make sense are sometimes deemed necessary so that we can hit those marks that 13, 14, 15-year-olds, you can't just find that right now to make the lead of your HBO show, to really carry it.
It's facts.
You're not.
Can I say this though? I've been waiting to say this until we all was in person, but we're all not in person. But I'll still say it here. I personally, for all of us, want to apologize to you. And I mean this, bro, because I'm not sure if we was as kind to you that we needed to be.
Facts.
Like real shit, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think about that shit often when I think about the show, and I'm like, yeah, we were kids and we didn't have the thought process we have now to know, but we weren't that kind to you. And from the bottom of my heart, I really want to apologize to you.
I love you, Lito. I thank you for that. I thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'll second that as well. I mean, not to piggyback.
No, absolutely.
But the cool thing about it that I will say is that these conversations have happened before these cameras.
100%.
So that's why, I really do appreciate it because.
But it's necessary to say it on camera.
Yeah.
For the world, because I know it affected you.
Yeah.
And I don't care about if they don't know anything unless we tell them. Yeah, it's not like we're on a reality show. But I wanted to say that when we got around some cameras, when we got around all of us, because I know, that year was hard for you.
Yeah, it was.
I know it was hard for you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
When I look back as an adult, and I watch the show and I remember shit, and I'm like, we could have held him down a little more. Mm-hmm. We could have been there a little bit more.
But again, I don't know. Therapy just got me on one. But sometimes I don't judge you. I don't judge myself. I don't judge it. It happened.
Oh, it happened. Yeah.
It happened. And if I went to school, there would have been the same thing. Like I needed. I'm not going to say I needed it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it played a huge part in my development as a man to kind of be around 3 other men, finding themselves and kind of being like if we were on a team. You know what I mean? You kind of got to catch up. You got to man up. You got to toughen up. You got to
and you did
rise to the occasion. You know what I mean? So it was I'm not going to say it was a necessary hazing, but I know as a young man I would have got it anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad I got it on set. You know what I mean? Working on a television show.
Then just at some random high school.
Like, just some random niggas. Yeah. But just no, but like.
Not to put you on the spot. I apologize if I did.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's also us not having, not having the wherewithal and seeing how your actions can affect other people. And how, because even like all these things, that's even why I was asking you about your like letting people know like how you were coming back every weekend and how, because it's like, this is shit I did not have to worry about. It's not my problem. And like, and I say it like that right now because it's like, as a kid, that is, hey, I got to work on the show. I got to do blah, blah, blah. I'm not, hey, these are my friends. I say I want to, but like, no, you get older and you start to be like, oh no, like, damn, that's taxing on anybody. This nigga has to every week has to get up and then then on top of that, what kid wants to be right at the place with his mom in a double bed? That's crazy. Oh man, he can't get a haircut. He can't. So what about when he just wants to go out with his family and have a good dinner? And this motherfucker has to sit here with this crazy hair and this. And then he has to sit here and be dirty all day and then get teased by motherfuckers who should understand this is a show.
Because we were talking on the other episode where I said, I went home every weekend. Like if we shot on Friday till 8 p.m.
I remember that.
Yeah, I went from the set.
Went straight to Penn Station.
Straight to the Greyhound. Not the Penn Station. To that shit where it meets you in the middle of the McDonald's, the bus, the Greyhound. I took the Greyhound home. I told y'all I took the what? We told y'all we took the train. We were taking the Greyhound, bro. Damn. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I know y'all thought we were taking the train, bro. We were taking the Greyhound every weekend. Yeah, every weekend. So I go straight from set to the Greyhound, drive 4 hours, 3 hours, get on a train from 34th Street in New York.
I don't know
on a train.
Greyhound from Baltimore, because I had to do it a lot, like in my teenage years, auditioning in New York. It is so physically taxing to be on a bus for 4.5 hours.
Yeah, bro.
It's like physically taxing, and then you'll get in traffic. You can be on that bus for 6 hours.
Bro, did it
your
every
back
weekend.
Just hurting. And
and then got to go from the Greyhound drops you 42nd,
and then you got to get.
And then I got to get on a train for another hour and a half to home to Brooklyn. And then bro,
that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough
for a fucking day and a half.
For a day and a half, bro. Every weekend. Remember, I didn't stay one weekend.
But why?
Because my mom, my younger sibling, my 17-year-old brother was watching my little sister.
Got it.
At that time.
Got it.
So my mom couldn't be in Baltimore on the weekends when I wasn't shooting because my brother's 7. He had to get a break.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
he had to get a break.
He couldn't do shit.
He couldn't do shit either.
I did not know that was going on.
Yeah, bro. So I went home every weekend for a year straight.
Man, respect to the parent because this is just there's
our
just
parents
sacrifices all over. Bro, my mom lost her brother while we were out here filming, and then she had to fly back to Chicago.
I remember that.
Had to fly back to Chicago. My dad came down for a little bit.
Dad came out. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And then she had to.
I didn't know
go
that.
put him to rest in next. He was Muslim, so put him to rest in X amount of time. And like,
right, it has to be a certain time.
And it was just once again another thing. I just you're a kid, you don't realize. I'm just like, oh, my mom's dealing with it, but it's just like, damn, like. You live long enough, you go like, damn, you lost your brother, but you still out. But you still out here
smiling and
fucking with me, like you know what I mean though. Like it's like, wow, like that's a lot, man.
Is,
like, love you, mom, because that's like that's real.
That's
a lot,
I
bro.
knew that,
like
bro.
That's a lot, like. And like I said, my dad had to go back to work. She came right back out, made it happen, and she kept it going.
Yeah,
that's real, bro. I never
Strength,
knew that.
You know,
I never knew that.
Strength,
the sacrifice that our parents gave and made for us, bro, to do that. And then my mom used to be spazzing while we were on set because they'll have them in like they didn't have them in the like when we did school in the production office, they didn't have them in a trailer. They had them in a kitchen.
Right.
My mom hated, bro. She raised hell
because she was like, "Where am I supposed to go?"
You know how that would. I want to see the writers of the kids on Stranger Things.
I think about that shit all the time.
I want to see what the schooling situation was like. I want to see how the parents were taken care of. I know the parents get their own stipend.
Oh yeah, for sure. Imagine though if we could show like those two contracts, and it'd be like, bum bum bum.
Bro, because think about it, real talk, bro. Because my mom used to spat. I think it's the first time I'm ever saying this publicly, but I think the reason I wasn't on season 5 was because my mom was too much for them, and I think my mom just caused a ruckus, bro.
Yeah,
you remember my mom? Didn't she get in an argument with one of y'all moms? I think.
Or maybe it was Nathan's mom.
No, not Nathan, mom. I think maybe Talia.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah,
I think you're right.
That's
possible.
Think
she got into an argument with Talia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With Tristan's sister. I think. But we were being mad candid on this show. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sitting here like I feel like I'm just talking to you.
Like, wait, who is it? He said we being mad candid right now.
And there's love to everybody. Okay.
And in Talia's defense too, she was like, well, she was young as hell.
She was like 18,
just over a teenager. So it's like,
but the whole thing is that might not even be who it was with. Cause she
I might be confused.
Wait,
I ain't never fight show mama.
No, but my mom was like not causing a. My mom was the type that like
she was standing on business.
She gonna stand on business. She was standing on business.
She was standing
about
everything.
That was the thing about every. And sometimes this industry does not like for you to stand on business. Sometimes they like you. They want you to play along.
Yep.
To get along.
For sure.
Don't really make a ruckus. Even if you're wrong, just chill out. And my mom would be like, why the fuck? She was fighting for all our mothers, really. Why the fuck are we in the kitchen all day while our kids are doing this?
Your mom 100% fought for all of our mothers.
Yeah.
There were just certain little nuances of things.
It's just how it's done sometimes. But like she knew.
But she comes from that era where you spoke the fuck up.
Yeah.
Which we all do now.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. We all do. Like the game is now.
Each of us have that same vibe where I think even the routes that we took in our careers.
Yeah.
It's because we've seen it. We've been there. We know our worth.
You're not going to play with me.
You're not going to
play with me.
Yeah.
And my mother was doing that. And sometimes it's like, all right now, man.
We got to play a little bit today.
We got to play a little bit. And my mother's like, you're not going to play with me. What? But maybe she didn't know the correct ways to go about it.
But this is before diversity was a thing.
All that shit.
This is a black woman telling these white people no.
For her black
son. Y'all, you supposed to be happy you here, nigga. Like that's another thing I feel like people don't realize. Like no matter what the situation, until you land in the golden situation. No, you're supposed to be happy to be here.
You're supposed to just be happy to be in the room. You're not really supposed to know that
you deserve better.
That you're there for a reason.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not just sitting up on that couch. You know, it's interesting to see that, because it was like, oh, that was the first time for sure. That was a new day. I showed up much different, much more aware.
Yeah, I remember that.
You learned.
I remember that.
You learned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of learn. It's like, oh, don't just be happy to be there. It's like, you did the work. When you did the work, you get in the room. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's real shit.
And it still is that way. I mean, each of us were able to still continue to do work with great people because they know the work we do and what we're capable of. Right. Are we working every single day of the 365? Okay, maybe not. But we're doing great work.
And we're all
our
creating
careers. Exactly. Well, hands down, you got to. You got to do your own thing.